Hello, beautiful internet family. My name is Dan Davis, and I'm the creative director here at DansTube.TV, as well as the Fearless Drone Academy, which is the ultimate online drone course for beginners. And today we're checking out a very exciting product. This is the newly released DJI Mavic 3 Classic, and in today's video, you're going to find out everything you need to know about this drone before buying one. So when you look at these two drones here, you're probably thinking, why do you have two of the same drones? They look very similar in every way. Well, they are pretty much identical in nearly every way, but they're two completely different drones. This one here is the newly released Mavic 3 Classic, and this one here is the Mavic 3. So when I unpack the Mavic 3 Classic, you'll immediately notice what the difference is here. It does have a completely different design to actually house everything. So the previous one, you can see there are some slight differences in the way that it actually holds down the gimbal system and the propellers and everything. This one here, you know, I like. They both work really well. This system is actually quite easy. You've just got this little kind of ribbon thing that you pull, and then it releases everything, and you just plop everything off. Nice and simple. And then there is the Mavic 3 Classic. And as you can see, it's got the one camera system on the front. So it's got the Hasselblad 4/3 CMOS sensor, a beautiful camera system, one of the best, if not the best camera systems that I've used, and probably one of the best on the market for a drone of this size. Like, it's quite a portable drone when you fold it up, considering it's such a professional offering here. But the Mavic 3 Classic features the Hasselblad 4/3, where we look at the Mavic 3 here, and this guy here features the two camera systems. So it's got a different design, more of a kind of magnetic design here. Pull that off. And then once we release the drone, you will see very similar in every way, if not identical, but on the front there, we have the two camera systems. So we have that Hasselblad camera system, the 4/3 CMOS sensor, and then we've got the telephoto sensor on top there. So the Mavic 3 has the dual camera system, and the Mavic 3 Classic has the main camera system that everyone was very excited about. The other really cool thing about this offering is having the DJI RC alongside the Mavic 3 Classic. I've spoken extensively about how much I love the RC, and I'll talk about it very soon, but this combo together is phenomenal. I know a lot of people out there really wanted the Mavic 3, but they just couldn't stomach that price point. They couldn't justify spending that amount of money on a drone. Now, the Mavic 3 Classic comes in significantly cheaper, so you're going to be saving a bit of money on the drone itself, but you're still getting that main camera system. And the 4/3-inch CMOS sensor from Hasselblad is honestly incredible, like the best camera system I've used on a drone, probably one of the best camera systems on the market for a drone of this size. Just really impressive stuff. If you are interested in the Mavic 3 Classic and want to help out the channel, then I do have a link in the description below to pick it up for yourself, so check that out when you have a chance. So we're still getting all of the same offerings from the camera system. It's still capable of 5.1K up to 50 frames per second. You can still capture 4K up to 120 frames per second. There's a bunch of other really cool features on there, including the ActiveTrack 5.0, and it's just a feature-rich drone offering here. Now, when you fold it out, again, the same as the Mavic 3, it folds away into quite a compact system, but when you open it up, it's still compact, but it definitely commands the sky. Like, it does an amazing job of flying, and that's really where this drone excels. Like, at the end of the day, it is a drone. You want to make sure that its flight performance is top-notch, and you're getting exactly that with the Mavic 3 Classic. I'm just going to unfold the Mavic 3 just to show you that they are pretty much identical in every single way, which is not a bad thing because this drone is top tier, like one of the best drones on the market. So you can see right here, very, very similar. They are the same. There may be tiny, tiny differences that I cannot pick up on, but it's the same chassis. Obviously the text on the front is different because this is the Classic, this is the original Mavic 3, but you can see all the sensor positioning is the same. The grills, everything is the same here. The batteries on the back, the loading doors, everything. And the thing that's really cool is that the batteries are interchangeable. This is something that has been confirmed. So that means that we can swap batteries between the Mavic 3, which I actually have a few extra batteries, so I can just take that out, slot it straight into the Mavic 3 Classic, and it will work. So that's really great to know that it's interchangeable. Like I said, it is the same camera system as the Mavic 3, so everything applies here. It's still a 20 megapixel sensor to capture super sharp raw images. You can capture up to 12-bit raw files, which is phenomenal. Like I said before, 4K up to 120 frames per second. You can also get 10-bit D-Log as well as HLG. So the same thing applies here. Everything that we loved and really enjoyed about the Mavic 3 has come over to the Mavic 3 Classic. It's not like they've dumbed down the features or removed things. It's still the great offering that we saw with the Mavic 3. When it comes to the sensors on the Mavic 3 Classic, it's got 8 vision sensors. So 8 ways of avoiding obstacles, 2 on the front, 2 facing up, 2 from the rear, and then 2 below. And because they've got more of a fisheye look to them, they've got a larger field of view to actually see what's happening. So these ones on the rear here, they can actually see the sides, and the ones on the front can see the sides as well. So it's fully omnidirectional in all directions. This guy can see what's going on, and it actually can use APAS 5.0, which means that it can avoid what's going on as it's continuing to track you, or as it's returning to home, for example, with the advanced return to home offering. But I love using it with ActiveTrack and being confident knowing that it can continue tracking me and it's not going to hit into anything. Battery life from the Mavic 3 was really impressive and surprising to me. So we've got the same battery technology going on here, 46 minutes of flight time. Obviously you never get that full amount because you want to bring the drone back and land it like at least 25%, 30% if you want to be safe, but you don't want to be pushing it below 20%, definitely not. So in terms of like usable flight, I mean, you're getting about 40 minutes of flight time from the Mavic 3, which is phenomenal and enough for most people out there. It's almost like a lot of people don't even need the extra battery straight away. You can just get the one, fly in even multiple locations, 20 minutes at each location, and then later on get yourself another battery when you've saved up some more money again. And a good reason to upgrade to a larger drone, especially if you're used to the smaller drones that do look a little sketchy at times with those high winds. The larger drones, like the Mavic 3 Classic, can handle really anything that you throw at it, and I find that it's confident in any situation. So again, something that you can rely on no matter what you put it through. You've got the omnidirectional avoidance, you've got that massive battery in there, which gives you 46 minutes of flight time. You've also got an amazing camera system as well as a really reliable flight performance. So this is really one of the best drones that you can get right now. And the fact that you can get it a little cheaper than the Mavic 3 and it's still got everything that you need from a drone is such a sweet spot for a lot of people. I find the DJI RC to be a perfect complementary controller for a lot of people. It means you don't have to worry about having your phone with you. You don't have to worry about if your phone is compatible. You don't have to worry if your phone's charged up or if you get a phone call or anything like that. I love having a controller with a built-in screen. Some people have complained about a few little things with the DJI RC. The first thing is that due to it not having cellular connection, and if you're not close to Wi-Fi, then the maps are not going to load up for you. So a very simple workaround for this is connect it to your phone via a hotspot, load up the maps, and then zoom out so that it caches that area. Make sure you zoom out enough so it's got a large area. Then you can turn off the hotspot on your phone, and because it's stored then, it's cached, you then can use the drone as you would in that area, and it's still going to track everything with the map being visible to you. So that's a very easy workaround and not really a pain point for a lot of people, but just keep in mind that because it doesn't have cellular connection, because if you're in the field, you're not going to have Wi-Fi, just keep in mind you're not going to have maps unless you hotspot it to your phone. Some people have complained about the performance of the DJI RC as well, but from all of my tests and my experiences, I find it to be just flawless. It has no issues. Like, it's not going to be as responsive as the high-end latest device on the market, like an iPhone 14 Pro Max or whatever it's up to now. It's obviously not going to be as high-end as that because that's like a $2,000 drone, I think, in Australia. It's going to have better internals, right? So this is an affordable option, but it works for everyone. Regardless of your phone, you don't have to worry about what your phone is and if it's compatible. This is just going to work for you, and I find the experience to be consistent. It never bugs out on me, it never crashes or anything like that. It just works every single time. So I find those complaints or those criticisms to not really be relevant here because I have no issues with performance on the DJI RC. In terms of range, we're getting up to 15 kilometers of range with the DJI RC as well as the other controller. That's using OcuSync 3 Plus. Now, you definitely do not want to fly that far. Legally, you have to keep it within line of sight, so make sure that you're flying safely and legally. But keep in mind that you do have amazing range, 15 kilometers. So even if you're in a dense area with lots of signals going on, the drone is going to be able to cut through that and have consistent range for as far as you need it to have range, obviously. So a very consistent, reliable system here, and OcuSync 3 Plus is flawless. It's insane how good it is. On top of that, you also get a live video feed of 1080p up to 60 frames per second, which is phenomenal. And again, a lot of people who aren't used to this, maybe you've got an older drone, like you've got the original Mavic Air or even the Mavic 2 Pro, you might not be used to this. So it is a major upgrade for a lot of people, and to be able to get that 1080p at 60 frames per second straight to your screen makes a big difference when you're setting up a frame or setting up a shot to get something that you want. And if you've got a lower resolution, obviously you don't get the full quality, the full information. You can't necessarily make the right decision for the framing or for the shot, but having that extra resolution and that extra quality bump definitely makes a difference when you are capturing content. One of the new features of the Mavic 3 Classic is called Cruise Control, and it's a really cool feature. It's something that I would like to see developed a little bit more and added to some other drones. But what it allows you to do is program one of these buttons on the back, regardless of what controller you have. You're going to have some buttons on the back that you can customize. When you go into those settings through the DJI Fly application, you can program one of them to be the cruise control button. And then what happens is as you're putting inputs into the stick, so let's say you're flying forward, you can fly forward and then press that button as you're pushing forward on the stick, and it's going to lock the speed as cruise control does when you're using it in a car. You can let go of the stick then, and it's just enabled and flying for you without having to worry about awkward jerky movements or getting distracted or accidentally knocking it. So that's something that's really cool. It seems to be limited to the HyperLapse option. It doesn't seem to be something that I can do through the video mode. Hopefully that will be something that comes in the future. But the fact that we can use it through HyperLapse is really cool, because a lot of the time, like if you're using the free HyperLapse where you have full control over it, a lot of the time you're holding that stick for a very long time. So to be able to set up cruise control definitely takes away the pressure of accidentally knocking it or not getting the smooth footage that you want. In terms of all the features that the Mavic 3 Classic offers, it's got everything that you would expect from the Mavic 3. So you've got master shots, you've got all those quick shot modes, you've got ActiveTrack, you've got A-Pass, you've got everything you need in a drone. So that's where this really excels. 5.1K footage, 50 frames per second. There's also some super sampling technology which empowers the recording of the 4K 60 FPS footage to really enhance it and make it pop, which is phenomenal. And then you get 4K up to 120 frames per second in slow-mo. So again, everything you need: tracking, slow-mo, amazing 5.1K. You've got raw photo capabilities at 20 megapixels, just everything you need. An amazing flight performance, massive battery life on it, and a solid all-round drone. So like, I love the Mavic 3, phenomenal drone, could not give it high enough praises. Obviously the price point was one of the hard things to swallow for a lot of people and a hard thing for me to justify, like to recommend to people. But I think this has hit a sweet spot here. I think the Mavic 3 Classic is everything that people wanted, because not everyone wanted that additional like camera system. Even though it was amazing, not everyone wanted it. Most people would be happy just with this system here because it is a phenomenal system. So for a lot of people out there, this could be the right time to upgrade, especially if you've got a Mavic 2 Pro, you're looking for a new drone, this could be the one. Maybe you've got a mini drone, maybe you've got like a Mavic Air or something before that, like an older Phantom, let's say. This could be the right time to upgrade here to get everything you need in a portable pro drone. Anyway, that is everything you need to know about the Mavic 3 Classic before you buy one for yourself. A phenomenal drone with so many features and at such a perfect price point. So thank you everyone so much for watching. I will chat to you in the next one, and peace.